Okay guys, so I'm at a place called Lin-Nei Park in Taiwan. I think it's Yulin County, but I'll check that. And I have to walk up all these steps to get to the place I need to go. Check this out. So, it's a pretty cool place so far. It's meant to be like monkeys, wild monkeys. Would you believe it? These are actually schools. But up here, up all these stairs that are gonna absolutely kill me by the time I get to the top of them. We are supposed to be at Lin-Nei Park. And it's supposed to be like wild monkeys and like a nature reserve type of place. I'm already shattered. Not even halfway. So yeah, I did pronounce it wrong, and I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong again, but it's Yunlin County in Taiwan. And it's kind of like, I would say it's like
Arrived.
Central. Kind of, well, I was going to say mid-central Taiwan. It's probably a bit more west coast than central. But it's a beautiful day anyway. I mean, look at it. Beautiful. So we're going to try and see if we can find some monkeys. So pretty much coming to the top now. And you can see there's a temple at the top. I mean, look at that. I'm not even at the top. And that's some view. Let's have a look. So there you go. View from the top of the steps. You can see the sun is just beginning to set over there. And that's a pretty magnificent temple at the top. Seriously though, look at the view. And this is winter. So normally in the UK, I would be freezing right now. I spoke to a friend there the other day and they said it was like 2-3 degrees. Yeah. Sod that. One thing I will actually say is it's quite hard to find the place. So there's a sign there which I've just found. But if you're relying on Google Maps, forget it. Because it took me about 6 miles the wrong direction. So it's a further climb up the steps, right up into the mountains. More temples. And I have been told to be cautious on the trail of snakes, by the way. So yeah, a little bit scared about this. Because I wasn't expecting, I think I'm quite a lazy traveller, so if I'm honest, I was probably expecting to drive right into Lin-Nei Park I wasn't expecting a hike, but well, it's an adventure. But seriously guys, for anyone thinking about taking a trip to Taiwan, a lot of people do tend, I've noticed, a lot of tourists tend to focus on the cities, especially Taipei, Taichung, Kaohsiung. Probably said that last one wrong. Kaohsiung, I think it is. But you know, I've noticed a lot of people focus on the street foods and the restaurants and things like that. But for me, you know, I've been to all those places, and I'll be honest with you, yeah, don't get me wrong, there's loads of food, there's loads of different types of food and things to see, I suppose, in the cities, but to me it's all noise. You know, it's all busy, it's all traffic, and you know, there's only so much eating you can do. So for me, I think the best thing is to get out of the cities, get out of the busyness, get into the mountains, get into the countrysides, and you know, get into the clean air and see what you see. So we're really getting up into the mountains now. Proper jungle. Look at this. I am being very cautious of my footing, just in case there is any snakes in the grass or anything, I don't know. You never know. Because I'm proper in the jungle now. So the other thing I suppose I've not really mentioned on this channel at all is I'm not someone who's an experienced traveller. I've not been to many countries at all. In fact, I've not been outside of the UK in over 20 years. And I was, I guess, a typical British kid, I suppose. When I was a child, we only went to the likes of the Canary Islands, Tenerife, Ventura. I'm getting a bit lost now, actually. I was lucky enough to go to the States when I was 13 years old. We travelled around west coast of California, San Diego, San Francisco, Grand Canyon, Los Angeles, Anaheim, pretty much that whole region, and it was great. But I think I had a harsh awakening when I was eventually, you know, an adult, and you know, realized that those types of trips came at a very hefty price. And wow, there's a lot of dragonflies up here. And when I had to pay for them myself, I couldn't afford it, basically. Wow. Tell you what, there's definitely dangerous things up here. I can see cobwebs and dragonflies. And I'm talking big cobwebs, like dangerous cobwebs. So the guy, I just bumped into a really nice guy, and he told me, I don't understand much Chinese, But he basically said, keep going this way, very beautiful. I understood that bit. Very pialiang. The view is pialiango, very beautiful. I understand that. So yeah, as I was trying to say, I guess, for me to come to Taiwan, Asia, for someone who's not been out the country of the UK in over 20 years, and be out exploring like this, is a really big deal, I suppose. But you know, I was getting to that stage. You know, I'm 37 now, and I seen when I was younger all my friends take a gap year when they were like 20, you know, 19, 20, 21. A lot of them took gap years and went traveling around the world, but they had mummy and daddy to fund it. You know, the bank of mum and dad. I didn't. I left home when I was just before I turned 16, actually. A couple of months before I turned 16, I left home. So at the age of 16 years old, I had rent to pay, I had bills to pay, and I was working. So while all my friends that I went to school with were living it up in America, Australia, you know, Bangkok, Vietnam, and so on, I was stuck at home paying bills, and that's pretty much always been my life up until this point. I've always had responsibilities, I've always had a job, I've always had bills, and I've not had the money to be able to go away and travel. So yeah, I got to, you know, I'm 37 now, I got to my 30s and just thought, you know, blink of an eye I'll be 40, and I've not done anything, I've not been anywhere. So I took a huge risk basically and said, sod it, let's do it, let's go. And even today it's a big risk. You know, I've not got a lot of money in my pocket, not got very much in the bank at all. You know, but I think you've got to seize the moment, you know, you've got to live life. And I'm standing here now in the middle of the jungle pretty much. I would say this is seizing life as much as I possibly can at the moment. I mean, okay, check out the view I'm looking at right now, and you'll see what I mean. So this is what the lovely gentleman that just passed me further down the trail was talking about. He said the view from up top is very pialiang. Pialiango, beautiful. And he absolutely was right. Look at the sun going down. And by the way, I'm not a fit person to be walking up these trails, but it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Although I haven't seen any monkeys yet. But I did just hear a gunshot. I don't know whether anybody heard that, but I just heard a gunshot over there. I did see some very thick, big cobwebs further down the trail on the trees, which I would assume, another gunshot, I would assume is a big spider that I do not want to get close to, basically. So I would say if you get the chance, even if you've got very little money in the bank, you know, I literally bunged my flight on a credit card, and you know, I ain't got much money. I've probably got a few £100 in the bank, that's about it. Another gunshot. Wonder what's going on. But yeah, come to Taiwan. I definitely recommend it. But for me, get out of the cities, get out of the towns and explore the countryside, because it's absolutely amazing, absolutely beautiful, and the air is much cleaner. So we will continue. Okay guys, so the poisonous spider I was talking about, I found it. I don't know whether you can see, I don't want to get too close. Where is it? It's not showing on the camera. Can you see it on the camera? There? Try and get a view from the other side. But that is most definitely a poisonous spider. Where the hell is it? Oh, it's not picking up on the camera, is it? I'll try and take a photo and... So I had to cut that short just then. There were some people coming up the trail in front of me, towards me, and they were coming up quite fast, and they were about to actually walk into the cobweb, or part of the cobweb, because it was kind of over the trail. I had to duck down to get underneath it, and I don't know what type of spider it was. I kind of did take a picture. I'll try and clean up the image a little bit and include it in the video, but I know it's definitely poisonous. Possibly, I'm gonna say possibly a black widow, I don't know. I'll have it confirmed. I'll show someone else and have it confirmed. But yeah, basically they were about to walk into it. So I very quickly turned the camera off and let them know, you know, be careful. And they didn't even see it, actually, even though I was pointing at it. I was like, it's right there, guys, it's right there. And they were like, what, where? And then when they eventually seen it, they were like, oh, shit. Like, this is me trying my best to talk in Chinese to them. But basically the translation was, oh, shit. So, yeah, that's definitely enough to get the heart pumping. You've got to be so careful when you do venture out to these countryside trails, because there are spiders, there are dangerous, poisonous things. And the funny thing is, if you speak to the locals in most of the Taiwan towns and cities, they won't actually know much about this, because what I've realized is a lot of the Taiwanese locals that live in the towns and the cities, a lot of them don't venture out of those towns and cities. And it seems to me that it's mostly just because they work all the time, and you know, they don't really have, sorry, I know I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking where I'm stepping. They don't really have the energy or the time to go and do the things I'm doing right now. And I completely understand that, because, you know, when I was back home, I used to speak to tourists even there all the time, and they would say to me, oh, do you never go to see this place or that place? And I'd say, well, no. And they'd say, why? You live here, you know? And I'd say, well, yeah, I just, you know, you get wrapped up in life, don't you? It's very busy. So, yeah, I think, you know, if you do come to places like this and you do venture out into the nature, into the wild, it's stick to the trails, watch your footing, watch overhanging trees and cobwebs, and just respect where you are, respect the place that you are, and remember that it's, you're just passing through, you're a guest. Respect the creatures and the animals that live here. And I think if you pretty much follow those rules, you'll be safe. But yeah, I've walked back down now. It took me quite a while to get up there, but as with everything, I suppose, not so long to get down. And now that I am nearly at the bottom, and I will show you back down where the temple is, I will pop into the local temple, because I always like to, wherever I am, pop into the local temple if I'm passing through, and stick the little bit of money in the donation tin for the temple and the upkeep of it, and have a little look around. But yeah, it has been really, really nice walking out here, and I'm thoroughly glad I did it, and I would recommend it to anyone. So yeah, this is Lin-Nei Park, and as you can see now that I'm at the bottom, the sun is ready to set, and that is the end. We're coming to the end of another day, and you can see a lovely little creature here that is watching the sunset with me. There he is. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this little walk out today, and I would highly, highly recommend it. So this is goodbye from me for until the next trip, I suppose. Lots on the horizon, lots of things coming up, and I hope you join me. So please like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get a notification of any future videos. Thanks for supporting me, guys.